Good evening. Apologies for keeping you waiting, but alas, I did have to wait for the rugby to finish. British rugby. World beating. Well, I was obviously referring to rugby in England, of course. The devolved nations, they have their own teams. Do they? Yes, they do. Jolly good. I was originally going to be announcing this to Parliament on Monday, but alas, a private meeting with just a couple of key members of Cabinet appears to have leaked to the Daily Mail. I have absolutely no idea how this happened, but I do know Michael Gove's wife, Sarah Vine, writes a column for them, so I shall ask her. Maybe she has heard something. Anyway, back to the matter in hand. Brexit. Sorry, COVID. Important new information has come to my attention very, very recently. Just a matter of weeks ago. It's very clear that we must act immediately. Well, following a statement in Parliament, of course, followed by a couple of days of debating, PMQs, a vote, and so on and so forth. So we will act immediately from a week next Thursday. From that morning, or the evening, depending on your height, we will, alas, be asking everyone to stay at home. You must stay at home, or you will be breaking the law of the land. You may only break the law in a very specific and limited way. We will be asking you to work from home unless you are unable to work from home, in which case it's completely fine to go to work. Do not use public transport unless you need to use public transport. There are extremely limited exceptions whereby you won't have to stay at home and you can go to work or to learn. These include, but are not limited to, all toddlers, children and students who may still attend nurseries, schools, universities and the like. Those working in nurseries, schools, universities and the like, and those working in essential retail like B&Q, car showrooms, garden centres, etc. Those working in hospitality, they can still go to work, obviously, although the customers who won't have to stay at home and will still be allowed out to go and get their curry, fish and chips, pizza and such like. They must just obviously take away only. It's very important that those takeaways are collected before 10 p.m, of course, as we all know how dangerous viruses can be after 10 p.m. Who else can work? Cleaners, they can work. Gardeners, nannies, tradespeople, journalists, bus drivers, bin men, well, generally anybody who cannot do their job from home. Professional sports can obviously continue, which includes Premier League football and all other professional leagues, including in the women's game, and all children who attend professionally run football academies, except girls' academies. That's a bit risky, so we're suspending them. Professional rugby, motor racing, snooker, darts, and tiddlywinks. They can all continue. But you can't go and play golf, That's no, don't do that. Households will not be allowed to mix either indoors or outdoors, except for support bubbles or for one person to meet another person outdoors only, but alas, not in a private garden. You must not stay away from your home overnight, unless, of course, you need to stay away from your home overnight for work or other limited reasons. Medical appointments will still continue, although most medical appointments will not continue, unless they are urgent, in which case they may, as long as you don't live somewhere which is somewhere where they are not continuing, of course. As I previously said, schools will remain open, as your children will obviously be very safe in a classroom with 30 other children. However, please do not allow your child to meet so much as a single other child from their class outside, or in a park or a playground, because that's very dangerous. Unless they're under 5, that's okay. That's fine. We will get through this together, of course. You, the great British public, have done a tremendous job, of following the rules, apart from those members of the British public, of course, who have not followed the rules, such as students and Northerners. The new arrangement will automatically expire on the 2nd of December, unless we extend beyond that, which is highly unlikely, unless something unlikely happens, and then we may. We will then revert to the tier system that was working extremely well for the 3.5 days that it was in operation. We will remind you of the very clear rules of the tier system in due course, along with the other 11 new tiers that we shall be introducing. 11 new tiers we're going to be introducing. I would normally open up for questions, but I generally don't know the answers. And I rarely answer the question even when I do know the answers, so let's not waste anybody's time, right? Right? Okay, thank you very much. Good evening.